for Japanese-Russian secret covenants in the early 20th century. At the beginning of the 20th century, the Russian troops occupying northeast China stayed behind during the Gengzi incident, and northeast China was in danger of being Russized. Russia's Far East policy and Japan's mainland policy had a serious collision in Northeast Asia, which triggered the Russo-Japanese War in 1904. In 1905, Russia was defeated, and the Portsmouth Peace Treaty was signed with Japan in September of the same year under the mediation of the United States, and it was forced to hand over its interests in the south part of northeast China to Japan, thus forming a pattern in which Japan and Russia divided into northeast China. The war has weakened both sides and they need to ease their relations. In order to fight against the German-Austrian alliance, Britain and France urged Japan and Russia to improve relations. In the decade from 1907 to 1916, Japan and Russia successively signed 4 secret agreements to divide their spheres of influence in China. Under the protection of 4 secret agreements, Russia kept its interests in the north part of northeast of China and outer Mongolia. Japan has gained special interests in the south of northeast of China and parts of Inner Mongolia. The first secret agreement between Japan and Russia was the secret part of the Japan-Russia Agreement signed in Petersburg on July 30, 1907. The main contents are as follows. The 3 northeastern provinces of China are divided into 2 parts. South Manchuria belongs to Japanese sphere of influence and North Manchuria belongs to Russian sphere of influence. Russia recognizes Japan's existing political relations in Korea. Japan recognizes Russia's special interests in Outer Mongolia of China. The supplementary provisions demarcate the dividing line between South Manchuria and North Manchuria. The line starts from the northwest end of the border between Russia and North Korea, connects Hunchun, the extreme northern end of Jinghua Lake and Shoshui-Dianzi in a straight line, and then goes along Songhua River to Nunjiang Estuary and back to the intersection of the upper reaches of Tower River and 122 degrees east longitude. According to this agreement, Japan and Russia actually carved up northeast China, Outer Mongolia and Korea. The second secret treaty between Japan and Russia was a secret part of the Japan-Russia Agreement signed in Petersburg on July 4, 1910, mainly to jointly fight against the neutral plan of the Northeast Railway proposed by the United States in 1909. The main contents are, the 2 countries further confirm the spheres of influence defined in the first secret agreement and the special interests of the 2 countries within their respective spheres of influence. If the special interests of the 2 countries are threatened, the contracting parties will take joint actions or offer assistance to defend the above interests. This secret agreement has obvious military alliance color. It accelerated the pace of Russian aggression against China's northern Manchuria, Mongolia and Xinjiang. Japan strengthened its position in South Manchuria and was able to annex North Korea freely. The third Japanese-Russian secret treaty was signed in Petersburg on July 8, 1912, with 3 articles, mainly delineating the sphere of influence of Japan and Russia in China, Inner Mongolia and the western part of the 3 northeastern provinces. The main points are as follows. The dividing line of the first secret treaty was drawn, starting from the intersection of Tower River and 122 degrees east longitude, along the Exchange River and Guelu River to the watershed between Guelu River and Halda Taiha River, and then along the border between Heilongjiang Province and Inner Mongolia to the end of the border between Inner Mongolia and Outer Mongolia. The north and south of the line belong to the sphere of influence of Japan and Russia. The longitude of Beijing is 116 degrees 27, and Inner Mongolia is divided into 2 parts. The eastern part belongs to the sphere of influence of Japan and the western part belongs to the sphere of influence of Russia. This secret agreement enabled Japan and Russia to further extend their aggressive forces into Inner Mongolia. The fourth secret treaty between Japan and Russia was the secret part of the Third Japan-Russia Agreement signed in Petersburg on July 3, 1916. The main contents are as follows. In order to prevent China from falling under the political forces of any third country hostile to Japan and Russia, the 2 countries should negotiate openly when necessary and formulate measures to prevent this situation from happening. If a contracting party declares war with the third country mentioned above, the other party will provide assistance upon request. This agreement shall be valid until July 14, 1921. This secret agreement and open agreement expanded the sphere of influence of Japan and Russia from northeast China and Mongolia to the whole of China, and they were prepared to support each other by force to defend their rights and interests of invading China. Japan and Russia formally formed a military alliance. This was the situation faced by China's northeast and Mongolia at that time.